Most people in the lawn and landscape industry have heard of Equip Expo, but when you're a small business owner, it's kind of a big deal to like push pause on your business, travel to another city, and for what? What do you really get out of Equip Expo? But I can tell you that because we just got back from Equip Expo, it was absolutely amazing. And in this episode, we're going to break down all of our highlights, equipment that we're excited that's coming out, and then also end it with whether or not you should start budgeting right now to go next year. Hey, welcome to the Checkpoint Podcast, where we help you set and reach new milestones in your service business. My name is Matthew Armstrong. I'm your host, and I'm here with Matt Allen, the Check's Director of Education, a.k.a. the Professor.
All right, let's go.
Stoked that we are about to talk about Equip Expo, and that is
so much fun.
That is what this episode is all about. Now, I want to give you a quick plug for our new YouTube channel, because what's going to be better than this recap episode of the of Equip Expo is all the content that we shot while we were at Equip Expo. Like,
We've got some exclusives.
We have so many. Like, we were the first to demo a number of new products, and we made some videos that we had never seen on YouTube. So we're like pretty stoked about this stuff coming out. So anyways, before we jump in, I want to let you know that this podcast is brought to you by Check. Check is the business management app that is going to help you and your business get organized and automate all of your admin. And now, if you run a small or solo service business, you can get started with Check today for absolutely free. Just go to the link in the show notes or go to hellocheck.co, not .com, .co. And that's going to help you, again, get organized and automate all of your admin so that you get to go home with and leave your admin in the field. So go check that out right now. And man, all right, we're just gonna jump in. We're gonna jump in and talk about Equip Expo. I want to kind of lay the context of why we went, because like it was me, you, and my co-founder Jacob, and we basically said, let's go and see how much content we can get. We took a number of video cameras, we took the podcast mics, and we just like used it as an opportunity to connect with a ton of people who we've been interacting with over social media, but also we wanted to try to bring Equip Expo to anyone who couldn't make it. Right? Yeah. What else were like goals that we went in with?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of people from years past do kind of like a vlog style reporting on what they saw. I just wanted to put hands on some of this new equipment. And help. I think you go because you want to demo the new equipment and make business decisions about whether or not you want to make purchases. And so by us putting hands on this equipment and doing demos, I think we can make some great recommendations for the folks out there who are thinking about making purchases. So that's what I'm excited about.
Right. Well, I think the easiest way to start this one off is to talk about highlights. Like, what were some of your favorite parts? And I'll jump in and like drop in some of mine, but kick it off.
Yeah. I mean, I think my favorite thing, and this is going to sound a little weird, my favorite thing was the Skag 21-inch commercial mower.
Come on, let's go.
Like, it's kind of boring, right? It's just a 21-inch push mower.
To the naked eye.
You just like, look at it and
it's an orange push mower.
Why did they make an orange push mower when there was already red ones?
Right.
That were perfectly fine.
Right. Until
you look a little closer and realize that the engine on that thing is a 225 cc 11 foot-pounds of torque, like 7 horsepower. It's almost double everybody else on the power.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah. I predict, and I could be wrong, and we'll come back to this in a couple of months, I think it's going to be a game changer. Yeah. Because the price is the same as all the rest of them.
Right. That's the game changer.
Everybody else is going to have to react, I think. They're going to have to say, like, oh, this old Kawasaki that I have on here, that was perfectly fine and serviceable for the last, that motor's probably 20 years old or more. So, anyway, I'm giving too much away.
Yeah. Because there's like we've searched. There's not content out there about the Skag 21.
By the time this episode drops, that episode will be on YouTube.
Let's go.
So
All
if you're
right,
listening to
we're going to link it in the show
If you're
notes.
listening, we're going to link.
That's sick. I one of my favorite things about Equip is always getting to reconnect with people who I've known for a while through social media, and then meet new people. And it's this interesting thing. It's like you because you've been watching people's content online for so long, and you've been commenting, and they've been commenting on your stuff, all that stuff. It feels like you know these people. Right. And so whenever you see them, you just like give a big hug, and even though you've like
never actually met in person, right?
Never met. And that, I mean, that's the power of the internet and technology. But that's always so rich for me. And then because we started the Checkpoint podcast in the meantime, one of my favorite things was getting to actually sit down and have at-length conversations with some of the people who hundreds of thousands of people know about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But like we have some awesome stuff that's, well, actually Chase's episode just dropped.
Chase's episode is online. By the time
Stoked about that.
Yeah, by the time this one goes live, Ken Morse at the Stripe Life, his interview will be up.
Yeah.
Corey Ballard, we interviewed Corey Ballard from Ballard Products, that's up. Sean from Cujo Yardware, that one's up.
Yeah.
So
and there are like a number of others that we like got to do. So that was a highlight for me. I also really enjoyed getting to literally like be shout out to Darian with D's Lawn and Landscape. Like Darian was like, yo, do y'all want to like be some of the first people to ever to demo Steel's new zero turn motors?
We were like, hell yes, we want to do that.
Yeah, it was freaking fun. Like it was so cool. It was like an exclusive thing, and it was.
We kind of had to sneak in a little bit.
We
like,
did,
you know. Throw like, hey guards, look over there.
We're scrappy like that. Love that. Let's see what else I
love doing the podcast. We did a couple short interviews.
Yeah.
From like the floor of Equip, in the Hustler booth, I think. And Jacob was like, where should we set up? And I'm like, right there. And he's like, that's their desk. And I was like,
set it up. It was so fun.
We didn't even ask. We just set it up. And at the end, they were like, hey, that's cool.
Yeah. And it was really cool because so it's like Hustler got acquired by, let's see, I don't want to mess this up. Stanley, Black & Decker, DeWalt, Cub Cadet, and Hustler are now one.
Conglomerate.
It's a conglomerate. A lawn glomerate.
Just yellow everywhere.
Yeah, but anyways, that was really cool to get to do those shorts. I think those look the coolest.
Yeah.
But yeah, we turned the Airbnb into a bit of a podcast studio. Like so totally fun. Rearranged all the furniture, and that was a blast. Like having people over to the Airbnb. Let's see another thing.
I loved the Stander demos. So you and I are both like,
I love it.
Fanboys of the Stander. Like
so much fun.
We both like run lawn care businesses on a 36-inch Stander. Right. I had a Wright. You got a Skag V-Ride 2. And we were like, nobody's got great demos on like making decisions about what Stander to purchase.
Yeah.
And for me, like when I was ready to buy a Stander, I spent probably 2 days driving around to all these dealers to do demos.
Yeah.
To like pick out the one I liked. And that was super time consuming. But there was no video on like how do you compare them.
Right. And I like that video took us 4 hours to shoot.
We made the video.
It like so basically we said it was funny. It grew in scope as we kept going. We were like we're like, let's demo every major brand of Stander and like pick which one is like the best. And like and so I'm excited about that video, but I think we demoed 8 or 9.
I think it's 8. Yeah.
It was so many Standard, and it took so much longer because I think the Equip Expo like outdoor area is I think I saw the number was like 30 acres. And so we're like walking all over this freaking place.
And then we'd forget one and have to like walk back to the other corner. And we're like, oh yeah, they have one too.
We're like, crap, they have a Standard. We're like, well, we can't exclude them. There were brands. Not every brand is in there.
No, we excluded some brands, but we also included some companies that have new Standards, right? So like Bobcat had a new one last year.
Did we do Bobcats?
We did the Bobcat one.
Okay, yeah. See, like it was such a blur, but I do remember the new one that I demoed was the Grasshopper. Oh yeah, I remember Bobcat now.
Yeah.
Yeah. safety.
No, yeah.
Holy crap! Y'all need to go subscribe to our YouTube, because that video is gonna have some extremely unbiased, raw thoughts that some companies
they're not
will
gonna like it.
not like. Like we're gonna have a list of, this podcast is not sponsored by, like a list, because like I try, like one of the things we try to do here is be extremely unbiased,
right, so
that operators can make the best decisions. Like we're not in it to like push any brand unless there's a brand that we love, right? And so anyways, I kind of ripped a couple of brands. Like I called one of them
unfair.
It wasn't, no, but I called one of them dangerous. I was like, this standard is dangerous. Like you should not ride it. Like, anyways, I'm so that's exciting. I'll also say, like, because Ken with the Stripe Life had a table at Hustler, we were able to do a giveaway with him. That was such a blast. Like, first of all, Ken's a solid dude, and then getting to stand on the cooler and call out numbers, and we all estimated and agreed there's about 300 people around. A lot of people. And that was just so fun, like just to get to do that. We didn't pay for a booth at Equip, and sure hope Equip isn't watching this right now, but anyways, like we didn't pay for a booth, right? So it was really fun to get to stand on the cooler and basically say, what's up? My name's Matthew. I'm the co-founder, CEO of Check. This is what we're about. We're the best app out there for small solo operations.
Yeah.
All the other companies, they might be able to handle multi-truck, but if you run a small solo operation or one truck, we are the absolute best.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have had that many people if we would have got a booth back in the corner.
No, and that's lame. That's not our style. We like to move. We like to do content, and so anyways,
we were kind of all over the place.
That was freaking fun. So thank you, Ken, for that opportunity. That was sick. Now I kind of want to like ask, what were some like missed opportunities? Like what do we wish we would have done and will do next year?
I wish there was and I don't know, I didn't see it, but I think some places had it to demo more of the handheld equipment.
Yeah, that's a little riskier to demo.
I mean, yeah, you could set up like a string trimmer without string on it. Like,
sure.
For me, it's like they all trim, right? So it's like, it's about balance. It's about like weight. It's about how does this feel like slinging around. But I see what you're saying. Like, they were demoing chainsaws. That's like the most dangerous piece of equipment.
That and last year, we didn't do it this year, but last year I remember whenever Echo's 9010 backpack blower was still like pretty new.
Yeah.
And their demo was basically like they had these massive bricks and they just laid them on the ground, and the demo was blow this brick across the field. And I was kind of blown away, no pun intended.
But a little bit.
I was like, okay, this is the best backpack blower out there.
Yeah.
So anyways, this is pretty effective.
Yeah, I want to do some more of that.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I wish we would have done differently is we got we recorded a tremendous amount of podcasts. Like we went into the week with none scheduled, and we just like brought the mics. We're like, we want to do this. And we ended up getting 6 full-length episodes.
Right.
And we got, I think, 5 mini episodes on the showroom floor. Mm-hmm. Next year, I want to double and triple that respectively. Yeah. Like, I want 15 to 20 mini episodes on the showroom floor. And like,
I want to do more on the showroom floor if we can.
It's so fun.
Because we were concerned that the audio wasn't going to be good.
Right.
And the audio turned out fantastic.
Yeah, it really
I think
did.
they look cooler. The Airbnb we were in was nice, but a little bit dated on its decor.
True. It was an Airbnb.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Let's see. I feel like we did a pretty decent job of spreading ourselves out from like this is what we're gonna do inside. This is what we're gonna do outside. And I know this isn't as applicable to like everyone. Not everyone's a content creator, but I know that I feel like we kind of stumbled around as far as like we had an idea of what videos we wanted to do, but we're like, man, next year, like we could do this so much bigger and better. And
I don't
more
think
clean.
we knew what to expect, right?
No.
I had never been, so it was like, I know I want to shoot a bunch of videos.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what. Like we knew like the day before we were going to get it going to do the steel ride-on mower, the zero turn. But other than that, I think most of it we came up with just like on the spot, like, hey, this is a good idea.
Or in that coffee shop, it was like right before we checked into the Airbnb, we're like, hey, let's think of some videos. Like, this is not how you do this. Like, but it turned out well. It was your first time. This is my second time. Yeah. So I went to GIE, and then they changed the name. They changed kind of the ownership of who is running it. And I remember seeing a press release of how they're re-envisioning everything. To me, it felt like really, it felt the same. Like, to me, I'm sorry. There's probably going to be people who are highly offended at that. And I'm not saying that it wasn't excellent. It was amazing. It was excellent. And it felt a little the same. But for you, first time, what were like your first impressions of it?
It was bigger than I expected.
Okay.
Especially the outdoor area. I knew there was going to be an outdoor area, but I was just kind of blown away by the amount of equipment that each manufacturer brought. And so that was fun. I love seeing the flagship stuff. Yeah. You know, like as a small lawn landscape business owner, you know, the flagship stuff was sort of never would have made financial sense for me, but it's fun to like jump on it and touch it and play around with it and kind of see that. That was fun. I have the question around battery, whether like it was so popular, they were pushing it so hard. We didn't make a single video on battery. And so I'm curious, as you know, let us know in the comments whether you want us to do more battery stuff, because they're pushing it so hard. I have a lot of experience using battery in a commercial environment.
I've used a lot of batteries in my life too. So.
Yeah,
use batteries in a lot of things.
Kids' toys and like that kind of stuff. But no, I've used them, like them. I think there's a good argument for them, but we just didn't touch any of the new stuff. Yeah. Really, so I don't know if we want to kind of focus on some of that next year.
That would be fun. I would like to demo it because, like, as with any technology, it starts very expensive and limited in capability, but then as time goes on, more innovations happen to bring down the cost, bring up the functionality, stuff like that. So I do wish I would have demoed some Mean Green stuff, because Ken speaks so highly of that, and it's just, it's so absurdly expensive. Like I wouldn't buy it for my business, but I'd still want to demo it. So
yeah, I was way back in 2013, 2014. I was on the fence several times of buying their 21-inch push mower.
Okay.
Never did because I think it was like $3,000 at the time, and I just wasn't. You know, how many commercial snappers can you buy for $3,000? Like
1.5. No, 2.
At the time, you could buy 3 of them.
Inflation. Okay, so missed opportunities, fails. Okay, favorite piece of equipment. Now, I wanna throw one out there. Should have gone in my highlights. I've always admired this piece of equipment. Mm-hmm. I've always like drooled towards it. I've always wanted to try it, and it like lived up to all of my expectations. It was the Wright ZK 72-inch with dually wheels.
Yeah,
it is like the most monstrous mower known to man. It is so fun, and the best part about it for me was that Wright's demo area looked like a Formula One track.
Yeah, like
so many turns, so like all kinds of different things, and
they probably had the best track too.
It was
out of all the
track.
Companies.
It was the best track, and it was so fun because if you didn't, that was the biggest mower I've ever like demoed, the 72-inch Stander. But because I was familiar with the Stander, I knew how to drive it, but like there wasn't a lot of room for mistakes on that one. Like it was almost as wide as the track itself. And so I made this video. I was like, I'm gonna drive this as fast as possible through the demo area. And there's this freaking chump on like a 36-inch that was just bebopping around, taking forever. And he had a cowboy hat on. and I was giving him trash on the audio. But anyways, I just had so much fun doing that one. So that was one of my favorite pieces of equipment. And you go, I think I have another.
Yeah. I didn't have a lot of experience with any of the Hustler equipment.
Yeah.
There's certain internet forums where they're not considered like in the top tier. And I really enjoyed actually getting to like see them, touch them, experience them.
Yeah.
And my opinion's kind of changed. Like,
cool.
There's the new Surfer Pro, and I always thought like, why would you ever buy that, right? Like, it just looks lightweight. You know, I'm coming from the Right 36 Stander. Is probably the heaviest 36 Stander, the thickest gauge.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at this going like this 34-inch, like that's basically the same thing in my mind. Why would you buy that? But getting to actually like use it and see like there's a good use case for it.
Yeah.
But I already did say my favorite was that Skag 21. Like
the Skag 21.
I can't. It's when it drops. Like I want to get our hands on it because what I want to do is like it's so wet here in the spring. Yeah. From all the rain we're getting, and the grass grows so fast. It's like 90 degrees already in March, and it's thick. I want to put that thing like full blast and just like see if I can keep up. Yeah. And see what kind of cut quality we get out of it.
Yeah, because it goes so it's like what do they say it goes? It's like 4.5 miles an hour.
Yeah, they all go 4 miles an hour, but it's like
this one 4.5.
4.5. Like, you know, the Snapper, the Toro, the X Mark, they all go 4 miles an hour, but they all have a much smaller engine. So I just really want to open that thing wide up and see what kind of extra power we get. You know, what does that extra power do? Tim Taylor always said more power is the answer, and I agree.
I don't disagree. Well, hey, before we keep going, I want to give a quick plug for the Check app again. Check app is going to automate all your routine admin, like your invoicing, scheduling, even client notifications, things like that. And the point of this is to keep that stuff off of your plate. Why? Because you're working hard, you're busting your tail, you're out there sweating, and at the end of the day, I know for me, the last thing I want to do is come home, shower up, and then pull out the laptop and keep working on my business. No more, I say. It is time to leave admin in the field. So we designed the Check app to be able to handle your admin and your invoicing and your schedule for you as you go, rather than having to pull out a laptop and keep working whenever you get to the end of the day. Take a load off with the Check app. And I want to read you a real review we got from iWilson23, whoever that is, but I appreciate you. It says, I started using Check this year, and it has really helped me keep track of jobs, clients, expenses, invoices, and so much more. If I didn't have Check, I would definitely be super unorganized and would not be in the spot I am right now. Now, I'm assuming the spot he's referring to is an amazing spot. Don't you? Sounds like it if you read between the lines. But that's a 5-star review. And now we'll get back to the episode talking about Equip. But man, I love hearing that kind of stuff. Like, that's why we do what we do, is to really try to help operators, champion the operator, and make sure that their lives are a little bit easier. Yeah. That's what gets me freaking jacked.
Pumped up.
I want to bump you up. Okay, so you already started talking about this, but let's dig into it a little more. So electric, like I subscribe to all kinds of different newsletters, industry publications and stuff within the green industry, and man, it's like everyone is pushing electric. It's like big electricity is trying to like ram electric down our throats.
Billboards everywhere around Kentucky for like the electric. You know, Toro had billboards. Yeah, they were just kind of all over the place.
And I want to go on the record for saying I'm not opposed to that. Like, I love innovation. I love new technology. I admire Tesla, what they're doing with electric vehicles. I think that the Rivian truck is like freaking sick, even though there's a very unique type of person that buys that. Yeah. Like the person who loves to go camping but doesn't want to go camping. Like, I loves the idea of camping. Sure. They buy a Rivian. Because they have this, like, in the truck you can like actually pull out a camp kitchen. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. That sounds fantastic.
It's pretty sick. but it's like glamping, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'd probably buy one.
Yeah.
Rivian. Anyways, this podcast is sponsored by Rivian Mowers.
Yeah.
Coming
Rivian,
in 2030.
Rivian, if you want to sponsor us, and if you would like us to drive your trucks,
I would like to demo a truck.
No, like sponsor us. They can give us a truck for the lawn care business.
I like that better.
Yeah. We'll drive the truck around. We'll put big signs that say Rivian all over it.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sick. All right. So on electric, I'm not opposed to it. Like
right.
I would love to actually demo some stuff. But as a sneak preview to one of our videos, we went around and talked to some of the major equipment manufacturers and said, hey, what trimmer would you recommend to someone who is starting out? And I'm not going to say who. You'll see that in the YouTube video. Again, go subscribe. Why are you still watching this? To pause, go subscribe, come back, or listen, whatever. Unless you're driving, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Anyways, my thoughts on that was like 2 of the companies that we talked to pushed electric.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
for new people,
for new operators. And I'm trying to, like, the strategy of this video was get them to recommend something. Then we're going to put all of those against each other and tell which one we would choose.
Sure.
Based off of just those, not every trimmer, but just off of those. And 2 of them recommended EV setups that cost over $1,000 just for the trimmer. And I'm like, no,
trimmer and batteries.
Yeah, and it's like
setup.
you kind of missed the assignment. Like you didn't understand the assignment.
Yeah.
And so like I think I'm okay with people pushing EV as long as it makes sense.
Yeah,
Not just like general like everyone has to get this, because I disagree with that.
Yeah, I think you can do the math. Right. So if you do the math and figure out like how much am I going to save on fuel over the lifetime that these batteries last, you can make a strong case for using battery. There are advantages, like you just get so much more torque.
Yeah.
You use a trimmer differently. Like there's just a lot of positives. But when you've got a small lawn care company, you're not sitting on piles of cash.
Right.
And so to get set up, I mean, just to have a string trimmer that lasts you all day long, plus the batteries was $1,000.
Right.
You start thinking about, well, I need a backpack blower and all this other stuff. You're into like the $5,000 territory just for your handhelds.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, that's not where people start. Like people don't start a lawn care business generally because they're sitting on a pile of cash. It's generally because they don't like what they're doing. They don't like their job. They want to work for themselves. They want to set their own hours, And so they're like, how can I get this thing started? And it's usually, how can I get this started with the least amount of cash investment possible? For
the DeWalt, it's a sit down mower that transforms into a standard mower, and it's like a really fun concept. I think it's like a fun thing that you bring to that show.
Yeah, like if you go to a car show, right? Like they'll bring their concepts. Ford and Chevy, they have their concepts, right?
Yeah. So I thought it was really cool. Like I was like, this is really fun, and it would be cool to like put one in the field for a little bit. Would I buy it? No, I don't think so, because my gut reaction is, as cool as that is, I think you have sit down people, I think you have standard people. And rarely do they switch.
Right.
And so, like, I don't think you need this for both. And actually, someone had a really good point in the comments that would actually be good for someone who's running a crew that has people with different preferences. My only counter to that is someone who's running a crew probably isn't going to buy a DeWalt sit-stand transformer that's battery powered.
Yeah, I mean, even if you've got a crew with different preferences, you've probably got multiple mowers.
Right.
And if you have a crew, you don't really give too much weight to your crew's preference. Like you have a way you want to run your business, and you teach your crew to use the equipment that you have.
Yeah. Right.
And they get used to it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. What happened is someone was demoing it, or somehow it caught fire.
Yeah, the lithium-ion battery shorted out or something like that, and
it caught fire.
Probably not even a part that DeWalt made. That's the part that's kind of hard about it.
That's
we don't know the
look.
details, but
right.
like.
And I saw a video someone did where they're like they talked with one of the people who's spokesperson for DeWalt, said like it was a prototype. This is pre-production. This is a pre-production unit. We're gonna take it back. We're gonna diagnose it, but this is a pre-production unit prototype. Yeah. Like they kind of like brushed it off, and I think I would have said the same thing. Like if my crap caught on fire, whenever everyone's like, because it was a big announcement. It was like, look at what's about to happen,
Yeah, and then you can go out into the outdoor yard and test it. Like they made the announcement, right. Now you can go outside and test it, and then it caught on fire.
Yeah, they're so. I would have loved for them to run an ad like beforehand that said something like "the future is bright" or like "hottest new mower" or this mower is lit. Or
like when you go to a car show, like I've been to a few car shows, when they bring their concept cars. They don't have to put it then out on a racetrack and have people driving it around. Like it just sits there and looks pretty.
Yeah.
So they had their like eye candy concept mower, and then they let people like run it around the racetrack. Yeah. So like, I don't know. It's hard.
I wish I would have demoed it. Anyways.
I felt bad for them, but I also there were some good laughs from it.
Yeah. It was good. I remember in one of our in the Skag 21-inch video. We were going to compare it. We were like, this is is that video going to be out whenever this podcast releases?
Yeah.
Okay. So, basically we're like, is this Skag 21-inch the Toro killer?
Right.
Because like Toro's the incumbent.
Like the name state, right?
Right.
Like, if you're going to buy one, most likely you're going to pick up a Toro.
So we went to the Toro booth, and it's like nowhere to be found. Someone would have to fact check me on this, but I think all the stuff that they had in their booth was EV.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. So.
I didn't see anything gas either. I think outside maybe they had some.
Well, we tested their gas standard, so they had gas stuff outside, but I didn't see their push mower outside.
Yeah, no, I didn't either. They're giving out hats if people demoed their EV thing. They're like, please demo this.
We didn't want to.
We'll give you a hat.
We didn't get a hat.
We're like, we don't want that hat.
No.
Anyways, okay, so what are we going to do different next year?
I think to do different next year, I think we need to put some of these zero turns head to head. There are some incumbents, and some newcomers. We did that with the standers. I think we need to do that with the zero turns.
Yeah.
I think when you've got an incumbent, whether it's a push mower, a stander, sit down zero turn, like. You can't like sit on your laurels as a company when there's so much competition in the space. So I really like to see what people are doing, and kind of test the new stuff. So that's probably the video we'll make next year.
Yeah. I also thought that just from I feel like we walked by so many cool things, and I wish I would have just like for the sake of us helping bring Equip Expo to other people, I wish we would have gotten just like really quick, like short videos just to show off more of that cool stuff. I also think like maybe next year organizing a little bit bigger of a meetup, maybe like choosing the Airbnb a little more strategically, where it's like we could maybe host 30, 40 people, and just basically put out the invite on social media and be like, hey, just come over, hang out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd also would love to like grab a few more mics so that we can, instead of just me doing an interview with one other person, have like more of a round table and try to get people who haven't spent time together, who are also like have their own following and whatnot, like get them together in the same room and like get some interactions there. I think that'd be pretty fun.
We'll do it.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to do differently?
I don't think so. I had so much fun.
I did too. Okay, one other thing that I would do differently. We're like, okay, since we're not paying to get in at a booth, we're like, how do we drive people to the website without like basically saying like, hey, we're here and we're gonna, and we're like kind of like running a guerrilla marketing campaign.
Yeah.
And so we said, all right, I'll take the blame for this. I said like, let's do something about crispy edges with bacon emojis.
Yeah.
And so we kind of started running with that, and it led down this road of like, all right, let's create an alter ego for me named Chris Edge, and his middle initial is P. So Chris P. Edge.
Yep.
And Chris P. Edge was going to be a tool bag, and Chris P. Edge was going to like have the crispiest edges type of thing. But basically, it just redirects to our website. It plugs our podcast, plugs our app. Anyways, we print up a bunch of stickers. I don't know that those were worth it. I wish we would have like actually made stickers with our logo on it. What do you think?
I push back a little bit.
Really?
People love the stickers.
People love the stickers.
Yeah.
But maybe instead of just like, because we went out and bought the crispyedge.com, which redirects to our website, but just like instead of like I love crispy edges, and then it's this other thing, like maybe just
I think we could have been more
put our website,
been more direct, but from a branding perspective, I get that, but also like if you're giving away like free stuff, it needs to be cool. Like the Steel was giving away like retro looking hats with like chainsaws, and like people loved those. The line for that was forever,
and we waited in
like
it was sick.
Yeah, we waited in line for that. Toro was like you had to demo something to get a hat that was kind of like meh, you know, like it wasn't that exciting. There weren't excited about the hat, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if you're gonna give something away, it's got to be cool.
It's got to be sick, and like
crispy edge stickers are sick.
Crispy edge stickers were sick. I would have loved to see like a little more from them, but anyways, that was kind of fun. But okay, so
let's bring this home.
Let's bring it home. The final question is, should you go? So I want to hear your thoughts, and then I have something.
Yeah, it's expensive, right? Like if you think about like you have to fly in, or you're driving in, you're getting a hotel, Airbnb, and then the cost of the opportunity cost of like you're not out there working.
Yes.
So all that you kind of have to weigh that out. For me, what I liked about it is the ability to demo stuff all back to back to back. Like I said, when I wanted a stander, I kind of had to squeeze in visits to different, like I would be like, okay, I'm cutting in this area of town and there's a dealer over here. Let me like stop and like demo their stander. And like it took a couple weeks for me to get to all of them. And it was a lot of driving, and I never got to do them back to back to back.
Okay.
Right. So it was like, I loved that ability to do that. So if you're trying to make a big equipment decision, and you're like, I don't know which one I want to try, like, I think that's a fantastic opportunity to come down there. The other thing that I think is really cool is like just getting to meet people. Meet people that aren't competition, right? Like, you know, I think that's huge.
Corey Ballard talked about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He said, you know, whenever he started his business, I don't know how long ago, that information was so hard to get. But like you literally, like, of course you can go online, you can go to YouTube. A ton of people put out good content. But man, like whenever you go there, you can run into people who are like happy to share with you and help save you from ditches that they ran into.
Right. You know?
Yeah. For me, I don't think it needs to be a yearly thing, but to me, and I'm big on relationships, but to me, one of the biggest benefits of going to Equip Expo is just that, and I'm speaking to our customers, the people who are running like solo and one truck operations, like that stuff is lonely. That stuff is hard. So to go to a place where literally tens of thousands of people are in the same boat as you, I think that it does something inside to be like, okay, I'm not alone. I have like people in this who are like doing the same thing, facing the same struggles, and we're all still here. To me, like, if you're going to go connect with a lot of people. But even if you don't connect with a single person, I think it helps you feel a little more sane for like
connected. And I think,
what you're
doing.
Doing.
Like I'll plug our Discord channel. Like,
that's a good point.
We've got a couple hundred people in there right now. I think there's lots, there's definitely room for a lot more folks to come in there. And there's just, it's that place where people get stuck. Yeah. And it's not like you can go down. There's no, like, most places don't have like a local landscapers meetup or lawn care meetup. And the folks, it's all competition, right? So nobody's going to give you their secrets. Yeah. In the Discord channel where, everybody's giving their secrets away because there's no competition. And then getting the opportunity to then go to a place like Equip and then meet some of the folks that you're connecting with online. Cool. I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, it's so cool. I do enjoy the equipment aspect. Like, that is a lot of fun. But to me, it's more about the relationships. It feels kind of like like a pilgrimage of like, if you haven't gone, go.
But go with the intention of trying to meet people.
Right. And
put yourself out there.
Yeah. We're going to be there. So if you don't know anyone else, come hang with us.
Yeah.
Like we ended up having a crowd of people that we kind of plugged into. They plugged into us. We kind of just started hanging out, and it was just
doing
like
dinners together, hanging out at the Airbnb afterwards. It was fun.
And if you're hanging out with us, we're probably buying your dinner. So, like a pretty good thing. Man, those tacos slapped.
Yeah.
Freaking good tacos. I love good tacos. Anyways, okay, so we usually try to end this with end each episode with a application item. And I could say if there's one thing we want you to do from this episode, it's going to be start to crunch some numbers. Start to try to see is this something that you can make it to? It might be a good idea. Maybe eventually, we make a small spreadsheet just with the different expense line items. That wouldn't be hard to make.
No.
And just help you think ahead and plan so that you can then split that out and add that as a monthly savings budget to your business budget. But I just think that it's an awesome experience that everyone should at least have at least once.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I think it's good. And then from there, you can say okay, was this, you could at least check it off the box and be I've been there, done that. Or you can say, okay, this put a lot of fuel in my tank.
No, it was fun. It's been on my bucket list since I started my landscaping business back in 2012.
Wow.
2013. It was I want to get to Kentucky.
Yeah.
I just could never make financial sense. So it was fantastic to be there after almost 10 years.
That's awesome. Well, okay, I want to remind everyone that at Check, we are here to champion you, the operator. And, if this podcast helped you out in any way, shape, or form, please go and like and subscribe and follow us on different social media so that you don't miss a single episode. Also, remember to go subscribe to us on YouTube so that you can catch a lot of these videos that we hinted about, and would definitely drop those for you as quickly as possible. Now, if you have any questions or ideas that you want us to cover moving forward, or anyone who you want us to interview, then please let us know in the comments of the podcast, or you can email podcast@hellocheck.co. And like Matt said, go join our Discord community. Yeah. Again, link is going to be in the show notes. That way you don't have to feel alone as you're building your incredibly successful business.